Good evening, Gabbie.
Good evening, TC, and welcome all to part 39 of our weekly podcast, The Curran View, with the idol of Hillsborough, Mr. Terry Curran. What kind of week have you had, mate?
As usual, just sat in the house and doing a little bits and bats and taking job football training. But other than that, it's been normal. There's not much you can do, is there?
Now, what time's Tom been getting out of bed this week?
Oh, I tell you, since this coronavirus, Thomas was up and about. But he started to get a little bit bored now, Gabbie, and that pillow seems to be a bit more softer on his head. But Jock drags him out of bed.
And how's Jock doing? Because before the coronavirus, he had got a bad hamstring injury. Is he back in training? Is he all ready to go when we do kick off again?
Yes. Well, he'd just been past fit to go and do some light training and then join in with everyone.
Yeah.
If he had no reactions. And then the coronavirus comes. So yeah. It's been a horrendous time, not for him, but for everybody in a sense, hasn't it? I mean, football is second to the coronavirus. So, but he's got himself back fit. We've been doing some training, and looking at him now, he's not looking, he's definitely filling out. So I said to him, you should be ready now to be knocking on that door. I don't mean knocking on the door to go see the manager. I'm on about knocking on the door to get in that first team and start pushing yourself. Don't be blaming anyone. Get in there and work hard. So at this moment in time, that's how I think of him at this moment in time with his training and his next progression in football.
Now, he was on loan to Lincoln United. When we start back, will he be going back to Lincoln?
No.
Or will it be Grimsby?
No, he'll be staying at Grimsby because obviously, I would imagine, he has got another year and a bit contract to go. I would imagine Holloway he's not seen him train, he's not seen him play.
Yeah.
So he'll be there training. He'll want to have a look at him. I would imagine that before the end of the season, they want to have a look at all these young boys, see what he thinks of them, and then it'll go from there. He'll either get into the squad or into the team, or Holloway might not think he's any good, and then he'll be out trying to offload him or trying to send him out on loan. So that's the position he's in. And I mean, there's lots of footballs at moment in time with they don't know what's happening with this coronavirus.
Yeah. Football players, certainly Premier League players, have been in the media spotlight again this week. Should they take a pay cut? And in Kyle Walker's case, organising bit of a party, to be quite truthful, to put it mildly. What's your take on both of those situations, TC?
We're all different, Gabbie.
Yeah.
Every one of us is different. I mean, and I'm not saying it for sake of saying it. In today's modern day football, the vast amount of money they're earning, majority of them should be well covered. Should be well covered without any problems, and they shouldn't be looking at anything other than taking a pay cut and trying to help all the other people what's working at that football clubs throughout the country.
Yeah.
Now, as you go down leagues, it becomes a bit more difficult. I know Grimsby's taking a 20% pay cut, but when you look at people like Jock, they're only on peanuts.
Yes.
So, but rightly so. Everything should be looked at to help everyone what's working at the football club and trying to save the club and trying to save all the people what works at that football club. And not just that football club, everywhere else. Again, Kyle Walker, he knows the responsibility of it all. Again, we were talking about are they idols? What's the word you were looking at for them last week?
Well, we were talking about whether football players were role models, and I don't think that they are. I think that they do influence, and they influence you on a pitch as a footballer, but they've never influenced me as how to live my life.
You're right, but lots of people think the coronavirus, is just a bad flu virus. Some are really more concerned about it. It's the same as that with football. Some will think they're role models. Some will think They're not. They've got their own lives to lead. He shouldn't be arranging. He should not be arranging parties. He should not be arranging parties.
Mm.
You know, not only that, it reflects on him. It reflects on the club. It reflects on the manager, and it reflects on the society. So, and I'm not having to go at him because I understand him, but he knows what to do and what he shouldn't be doing. The problem is the young lads fit. And they want to get out, and you know they've been locked up. And when I say locked up, they're not locked up. I should take that back. It's the wrong word. You know, they've been there's in a lockdown where they're allowed to go out for a walk. They're allowed to go and train as jocks training, so they're allowed to do so much training. You know, but not in groups. So you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't, and we're damned if we stick up for them, and we're damned if we don't. So. It's the wrong thing to be looking at and trying to analyse, because he's done it, and he's going to have to take the consequences for it, isn't he?
Can we just take away the coronavirus aspect of it? Now, I heard, or I've heard secondary, because I didn't listen to the interview, but you know, you hear the fallout of and from discussions that Kyle Walker. No way is he going to be picked again by Gareth Southgate for his antics. Now, the coronavirus wasn't mentioned, but having these parties involving girls and other football players as well. Now, if we take that in isolation, foreign players, and I've just posted up another video of Diego Armando Maradona, who was arguably the greatest footballer that I've ever seen play, and Ronaldinho. Both of them football players, I'm guessing, would have been at that party of Kyle Walker if they were teammates. Are we too judgmental of football players? Because guys and girls do things like that. Should that get in the way of them being picked or not picked for England? Coronavirus taken to one side for a moment.
Well, let me put this to you.
Yeah.
Remember Eric Cantona?
Yep.
Remember, right? What did he do, right, at Crystal Palace?
Yeah,
he come full kick someone.
Yeah.
A weak manager like Southgate.
Yeah.
And I'll get a lot of crap from people, but I'm telling you, he's weak.
Yeah, I agree.
A weak guy like Southgate will cave in.
Yeah.
Cloughy wouldn't cave in.
No.
Right? He would have been punished, and rightly so. Right? So Cantona, Ferguson managed the scenario absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah. My
club, Sheffield Wednesday, made the biggest rick of the club in the club's history when they got rid of Di Canio. Now, some will think it was good, but in my opinion, and this is my opinion, and I don't give a damn what some fan think. Some fan thinks it was the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
It was the wrong thing for Di Canio to go and push the referee, but it weren't an hard push. And did the referee make a big scene out of it? Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He milked the glory he was going to get from it. There's no right, there's no wrong in it. There's nothing we can do. He got punished in Sheffield Wednesday, get him a free transfer. Who picks him up is Harry Redknapp, and West Ham benefited from it.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to Southgate. Kyle Walker's not been in his squad for the last 2 or 3 squads.
Correct.
So that. Look at me. I'm a strong man. I'm a big man. I'm going to tell all these players got some £200,000 a week at Manchester City. I'm showing the bit of authoritarian about me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Load of rubbish.
Yeah.
A good manager would discipline him. A good manager would make him apologise. A good manager would have him in his squad because you put your best players in your squad.
Correct.
He does not fancy Kyle Walker because he has left him out on occasions. It's all excuse for these type of managers.
Yep.
Right. And I keep saying, when I said to you about Alan Hudson and Tony Curry, I'm just doing an article about when I joined Sheffield Wednesday, and Leeds United and Tony Curry absolutely destroyed Southampton.
Yep.
What a wonderful performance. So we had players like the Iniestas and the Xavis. We've had all them. and our managers made an excuse and called them Mavericks.
Yep.
And he's trying to show his authority, which is a weak. It's weak for me what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's trying to be something that he's not. Yes, what I will say about him, yes, he's improved the England squad. Does it look as though we're going to win anything? I'll tell you what, put a Guardiola and a Klopp in charge of that England squad, because that England squad now has got some top players. Yeah. And I don't want to be rude to the goalkeeper, because he's a good goalkeeper, but we have got to get a world-class goalkeeper, and we would have a chance of winning it. Do I think we'll win it under Southgate? No, but I think he's trying to go about the right way about it, but I don't think he's got the right ideas to push it that way, because we have to play with the tempo. You have to be strong as a manager. You know, I mean, he's been trying to be strong. We Walker, what's in and out of the squad. Is he the same? Is he same with Harry Kane? Because Kane's a goal scorer. You need goal scorers, but you wouldn't say he's an all-round world player. He's a great player, right? Would he drop Southgate, Kane if he did something wrong like that? No, he wouldn't. And it's an hypothetical question, because yes, we'll never know that. We'll never know the answer, you know. So for me, it's wrong what he's done, how he's gone about it, and it was wrong by Kyle Walker, because if it got out, and somebody's going to say it, because you'll have one of the wives, right, whose husband gone there, or you'll have one of the players what's weak and couldn't wait to tell somebody, and then what happens? It gets out into the public, and then it causes him problems, and it'll cause him problems at Manchester City now. Guarantee you.
Yeah, my secondary question to that would have been, and you've already answered it, if that had been Harry Kane, how would Gareth have tackled that? And for me, I've always said this, and I always believe this. I don't care what my players do in their free time. All I care is what my players do on that football pitch. And I'll discipline them for what they do or what they don't do on the football pitch, or pat them on the back. Audie always said this about Osgood. Dave Sexton never, ever once give him a pat on the back. He slagged him off a loads of times and called him all sorts. And Ozzy and Dave Sexton almost come to blows on many occasions. But Audie said never once seen him put his arm around him. And as a manager, that's what I would do. I would get Kyle Walker to one side if I was his manager, and I'd say, look, in these days of the coronavirus, and we're told to stay in and do what we're told to do, you are daft. Same as Jack Grealish, but I put my arm around him and say, look, we've all been kids, we've all been daft. If I think you're good enough to play in this football team and give you a starting shirt, I'll give it you, whether you've been shagging half the street or nobody, as the case may be. I wouldn't let that come between me and a player in my starting 11. 100%.
Well, for me, the petty little things. What's happened? I know this coronavirus.
Exactly.
But it's coming out now that there's not going to be as many deaths as what they originally thought of. It's choose how many dies. It's still a bad thing.
Absolutely.
It's still a bad thing. But a brave manager and a strong manager can handle a scenario of players.
Yeah.
The ones what leave somebody out, what's not going to be in his squad, that's weak for me.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to play the big man.
100%.
So I agree with you 100%, and I've seen it. I have seen it at football clubs when players have got away with it. I can honestly say I've never got away with it, because I never went out drinking, and I mean that was the biggest problem we had in our walk of life. Was drinking, but then managers could have sorted it out, because there are problems what players have, but it was frowned on for a manager to think players didn't have addictions and didn't have problems. They looked at it, get on with it, but that I would have, in those days, that's what the society was about, wasn't it? So no, I don't agree with Southgate. I'm not bothered who wants to have a go at me. My opinion is pick your best players, pick your best squad, and let the players know who the manager is, what the rules and regulations are. And if you step over that line, and you can say, well, he stepped over that line. Hang on a bit. They've not gone out and done out seriously. They've gone to a mate's house, or they've had a party at their house. Make no mistake, they will have known if they've got the coronavirus because they'll have been tested.
Yeah. I've been working with Huddy now for a couple of years, and I said to Al pretty much the first time we actually got together, and I said, the thing is, Al, with you and the players like Rodney Marsh and like Stan and Frank and other players of that ilk, your brains are wired different to ours. You went out on that football pitch and you produced magic and you was entertainers. Now, as a fan, why would I expect you to do that on a football pitch and just be so extravagant and entertain us, yet when you come into Civvy Street, just be the same as us? And I don't think the two marry up.
By the way, let me interrupt you on that.
Yeah.
They are the same as you.
They are, but they're very different as well, TC.
No, they are not. They are not, because when they come off that football field, Gabbie.
Yeah.
When they come off that football field, they want to be They want to go in a pub, sit down and mix and think.
Yeah, so, but they're going to do things different to what we will do, won't they?
No, they will go in the pub, and then they might pull a bird, and then go off that way.
Yeah.
They want to go in the pub. They want to sit there. They thought nothing of it going on a football field. I promise you.
Oh yeah.
I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I know where you're coming from. They're doing things on a football field what other people would love to be able to do, and they can't work out how they've done it.
Yeah.
It's just a skill what's done it. But when they come off the field, I tell you, when I went on a football field, when Stan Bowles went on a football field, when Tony Curran went on a football, and Alan Hudson, right? They went on a football to get rid of all the worries they had.
Yeah.
Whether it were drinking, gambling, womanizing, whatever. As soon as you come off it, your problems start again. Right? So what do? You either go to bookies or you go to pub and get drinking. They were, if you ask majority of them lads, fans, when they went to pubs, they were normal. You will get the odd one of them, even one of them will turn out really eccentric. You will get the odd one. But in general, they just want to be normal people what go in a pub. I mean, if you saw a superstar player today going in a pub, right, you'd think there's something radically wrong. But in our days, it happened.
Yeah.
It happened. And then obviously they become alcoholics, some of them, and it's the wrong thing to do. But I know where you're coming from, but they are just normal people. It's just when they're on a football field, they can do things better on a football field than other people. They express themselves. But when they get off it, they find majority of them, I guarantee you, majority of them will be shy.
Yeah.
They are. Majority of them will be shy. Obviously, as we get older, we come out as a shell a little bit. But as players, when you're doing reasonably well, it's a bit different now because they're getting vast amount of money for it.
Yeah.
I mean, George Best was different altogether because he had all the adoration of everybody wanting to be part of him, and what was the advertisement and everything. It wasn't heard of in our days, that type of thing, was it? But I know where you're coming from. Sorry, I just had to think. I know what you're saying. The different to being on the field to being off it, but they just wanted to be in the pub with lads. Yeah. Just be normal.
Let's indulge a little bit in our history vault. We didn't mention it on last week's podcast, but let's talk briefly about Stan Bowles, because we don't have to always go back to the 50s and beyond. We can talk about players that played in the 70s and the 80s in our history vault as well. And Stan Bowles, absolute genius. Players today just don't play like Stan, do they?
Well, even Stan had problems with the managers. The same as Osgood.
Exactly.
Messi and them are allowed to, Iniesta and all them were allowed to, the continental players are allowed to express themselves.
Yeah.
Majority, the more I see now interviews with players on these podcasts and everything else, I'm hearing little bits coming out, like I've always said, a manager bollocking them all the time, a manager dropping them, because they gained a bit more publicity than what they were giving, But you're right what you're saying. The players today, the English players they're all athletes. They're not natural talented footballers.
Yeah.
They're continental play. I mean, Jack Grealish is a natural talented footballer.
Yep.
And I'm not sticking up for him. A completely natural talented footballer, right? He would be a better player playing in Spain, France, Portugal, because they're allowed to express themselves. All we work on in this country still is work rate. Now, a prime example, Gabbie, I hear people turning around and saying, you know, they should be on a bonus system and not all this money. What happens if you're playing for an Huddersfield Town? What don't win for 30 odd games? You'll be losing money, hands down.
Yep.
So what I'm trying to say is, players go out to play football because they love it.
Yeah.
Once you become a professional footballer, you still want to play, you still want to enjoy yourself, and you still want to express yourself. The problem is, a manager is wanting the best for him, not for the players, for him, because he's wanting results to keep his job. He's wanting players to work hard. And you should work hard. All players should work hard. And in general, players will look after the bodies, more so now than what they did nowadays. You know, but the problem with it all is when Stan Bowles is trying to express himself, he's getting a bollocking. Now, we don't know what's happening with our English coaches, with the technical players. We don't know. But we do know, because Huddy's just told you about what would happen with Osgood.
Yeah.
Make no mistake, you'd have had it. Listen, I never had it from Brian Clough, and I can honestly say I never had a bollocking from Brian Clough. I never had one from Howard Kendall, always to encourage me. You know, Jack Charlton, after every game, win, lose, or draw, he'd want to pull my head off, you know, because if we won 3-0, I told you not to go, get in that corner, right? And if we won 1-0, he'd put his arm down. Well, he won't put his arm down. Maybe he'd be the happiest man in the world because we won 1-0. Yeah. And we've done everything what he wanted to do, killed the game off, you know. And I understand it. Don't get me wrong. I understand it in one sense. He gets some of the result that we've won. But it's all right if you win in leagues. And if you don't win in anything, it's as bad as playing attacking football and losing anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you might as well try and get the balance right in between the defending and the attacking. And that's always been my philosophy on football.
I think Stan's philosophy on football was just go out, entertain the crowd, and do what you feel is natural. I'm halfway through his book, the autobiography. Great read, by the way.
Yeah, you know, Stan.
Yeah.
Football weren't a job to Stan.
No.
It was an hobby.
Yeah.
It was an hobby. He was more interested in horses and everything else. That what he's more interested. Football, he found, I'll just go out and play and score, we'll win, and that's how he thought. It was a hobby for him. Whereas some players, you know, they're obsessed with it. So, sorry, going about the book.
No, I'm just saying I'm halfway through the book, and in the first chapter, what's happening today, I mean, Stan says, it's no secret that the two main passions in my life have been football and gambling. Probably not in that order. And it's fair to say I was a good deal better at kicking a football than I ever was at backing horses.
But it's true.
Exactly. Yeah, but reading that book, it's one of the funniest books that I've ever read. And Shanksy, I've done a podcast with Shanksy because in chapter 13 it's shackled with Shanks, and there's a great insight to their friendship. And in fact, reading the book, Don Shanks features heavily in it. I mean, they were. As Stan said, we were like two cartoon characters going through life, just leaving a trail of destruction behind us. And that's what them two boys were like. I mean, Uddy's reiterated that, and some of the stories that Alan's related of their days, the dogs and so on. But we just don't get characters like that today. And I know that the press do hammer players, and okay, in terms of Jack and Kyle Walker, but you know, if we had Stan Bowles and Frank Worthington with what them guys used to get up to in the 70s, they make these kids look like choir boys, trust me.
Do you know something, Gabbie? I'm going to tell you a true story.
Yeah.
You talk about Stan with gambling and Uddy, and all of them. Frank was another one. I don't think Tony Curry was. I don't think he ever was into gambling.
No, Tony
but he weren't drinking either.
No, he was shy, wasn't he, off the pitch?
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, I know he weren't a drinker.
Yeah.
So, but all the players I've known what gambled have taken more abuse from football managers, and I mean abuse, and I mean abuse and being bullied, right? Compared to any of the ones what drank. Because on a weekend they were out after a game, getting pissed out the heads, Saturday night and Sunday. Monday we'd be back in running, and you could smell, right? And all they would do would just run them to get out of it. But if it was a Stan Bowles, what have been out gambling, and they don't even worry about once they're playing a football, they forget about all the worries. But they always took it out of them because they're wasting the money what they're earning on gambling, and just didn't like it. But they took the full brunt of the managers' volleys and verbals. I guarantee you, far more than the ones what drank.
But wouldn't you like to see on Netflix a documentary about the life of Stan Bowles, of Alan Hudson, of Frank Worthington? You know, I look at this Sunderland Till I Die, and I remember back in 1993, 94, I got involved in...
How boring is that?
Well, yeah, but I got involved in a Birmingham City documentary. It was Inside Story. It was a BBC. It was an hour. It depicted, the first year of Sullivan and David Gold in charge of Birmingham City, and how they got the football club, what they invested in the football club, and ultimately the club got relegated. And that was it. And that was 25 whatever years ago. And it was an hour. With Sunderland Till I Die, who wants to watch weekly or 6 programmes and then another series of 6 programmes about a club? And I said this to Woody, a football club, a magnificent football club, let's be honest about Sunderland, but a manager that can't manage, football players that can't play, and a team that's in absolute turmoil. Why would I want to waste 12 hours of my life watching that dirge?
Listen, some managers thought I didn't listen to them. I did listen to them. I did not like the way how they play football. You just asked me a question. I never forget what anybody says to me. You asked me a question. Yeah. Wouldn't I like to see a documentary of an Alan Hudson career? Yeah. Yes, I would. Right, and then I said to you, who wants to watch that? And then you came back, with a documentary about so and so. Listen, if it's going to be about the club, do it about the club.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're going to do it about players, then let's have a look at the players' lives, what they were doing and how they did things. Because they can do it now. And Alan Hudson could do it now. Stan Bowles could do it because they walk through everything. There's nothing to lose now. Where players, what they're doing. I mean, when you watch the Sunderland documentary,
I wouldn't watch it.
And I'm not having a go at the guy because you know as well as I do. When they get on television, majority of them are not being themselves.
No, absolutely.
They're playing up and trying to be nice to this and trying nice to do that, and then put a few swear words in and think, oh well, I bet it can be a so and so. If you're going to do a documentary, do it on the right lines of what you think's right. Now, them players at Sunderland, what do you think they're going to think of that guy and the owner?
I'll be honest.
Seriously.
I'll be honest. I haven't watched it, so I can't really comment on that. I wouldn't watch it because I don't want to watch it. I mean,
sorry, go on.
I know that they tried to make a documentary of Alan Hudson. Well, they've got the trailer, they got everything. It was called Smashed, but they couldn't get, as they put it, couldn't get the interest. And I'm like, you're having a laugh, ain't you? Alan Hudson, one of the greatest players. I mean, I would have called it Pain and Glory. With Stan, with you, with Frank, with all Charlie George, with all of these players. I'd love to watch documentaries.
I bet if they put something like that of one of these old players, I'll guarantee you the television would have biggest ratings than they've had for years.
Well, these people that tried to do with Uddy just didn't want to do it. They couldn't get the interest.
Because it's the political correctness people. What's behind? Yeah. It's the political correctness behind the TV people, and a lot of it is false. Look at the people who they put. Look at the people who we think are great players in this country. We call them world stars. Well, sometimes they come up against the proper world stars.
You name a few, and I'll tell you if I think I am. Go on.
You tell me what happens to us when we play against the world stars, England.
Well, we get beat because we just ain't good enough.
Exactly.
We ain't got no world stars.
Hang on a bit. Let me tell you something. Gerrard, Lampard.
Decent players, but not world class.
Hang on a bit. All them, right? Who beat him? Finland or South Africa, playing in South Africa, non-diplomat teams. Yeah, and they make excuses. We find it hard.
Costa Rica and Uruguay.
Find it hard.
Italy.
Load of rubbish. That they find out how good they are. No one can turn around and say about me, I weren't good enough to play for England, or Alan Hudson, or Tony Curry. I don't give a damn what they think, because it's opinions.
Yep.
We never played. And when Hudson did play in his position. He only played 2 games or 3 games. Didn't pick him then after that. Yeah. McDonald, right? Curry. I like Hoddle. Don't try and compare Hoddle to Curry.
Yeah.
Don't anybody. And I like Hoddle as a player.
Totally agree.
Right? I like Hoddle as a player. No, not in the same class as Tony Curry. And totally I did agree. Like Hoddle.
Yeah. Same
right? None of us had a chance to play on the big stage in big games. I think Curry did play against Poland. He did play against Poland, and
TC did play a few. Yeah.
I think he played 25.
Yeah, he did something like that. Tony had the most. Right. Yeah.
But when I said 25, I don't know if it were 25 full internationals or I don't know, because I never really bothered. Ricketts playing for England, playing one game for England. Not just Ricketts. Jeff Thomas played one game for England. I tell you what. Footballers, that just shows you how bad we have in this country, managers, when they can pick players like that for our national team. And when they pick these players, when do they pick them? When do they pick a Curry out of all? Like I said, Curry got more chances, but a Bowles or a Letitia, they'll play him against a non-diplomat team, switch all the team around, play him out of position, not good enough, they get beat, he's not good enough, I tell you, we're good enough, don't play again.
Yeah.
What have they ever done? And I'm right when I say about English coaching, whether they like it or not. I'm not having a go at them. I don't dislike it. What I'm trying to say to them, what you tell me, an English coach, what's won out since Revy and at club level and Clough? Tell me.
Well,
the goes on.
Are you moving the TC? Are you moving that phone again?
You set me up. Sorry.
You're breaking up. Put it to your mouth.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Stuart Pearce, Sam Allardyce, and David Moyes. Stuart Pearce. He got under 21s.
Yep.
Right. So he got the best players to pick from. Did he pick from the? Did he pick the best players? In my opinion, no.
Yep.
He managed Manchester City. You can't get a bigger club than Manchester City. It's a massive club. In 67, 68, they were winning league titles and FA Cups.
Yep.
In the early 70s.
Yeah, great
right?
club.
He's managed that club. Made a mess of it. Won nothing, got the sack.
Yeah.
Moyes and Allardyce. Allardyce gets the clubs what's near the bottom, and everybody says, oh, he saves them. Saves who? Let's see if he can save Huddersfield Town. Anybody can save a Crystal Palace when there's other teams worse than you. Yeah. Anybody can save an Everton when there's worse teams than you. Because he wouldn't take anybody else if they had no chance of staying up. They don't like it when I express my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's true what I'm saying. I guarantee you, it's true what I'm saying. What have they ever won as managers? What legacy will they leave as a football manager?
Nothing.
Right?
Nothing.
They'll leave like rest of them. Get your sleeves rolled up. Work hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely pathetic what they've done to our game. Nothing. And I don't give a damn whether some of my ex-players don't like me, what play with Sam or don't. I'm saying it as it is, in my opinion. They've taken our game back 20 years. You tell me a player they've improved. Name I know else. Tell me one player they've improved.
Silence is golden. I can't think of any. So in fact, what I would say is, in modern times, the best English manager in modern times has been Big Ron.
Yes.
There's been very, very few that could match Big Ron for the way that his philosophy and the way he played football. Obviously, I mean Clough as well, but we always talk about Brian. But all the others, you're right. There are very, very few English managers that have that have stamped their mark on the English game, have improved players, and have won either cups or titles or World Cups, because they ain't there. Our managers have let players down.
I'm watching a podcast. It's brilliant. Watch
Yep.
it. It's little what played at Palace and Burnley. What's his second name? Just 1 second. Tom.
Is it Glenn Little?
What's that little second name of that podcast? Glenn. Is it Glenn?
Glenn Little, isn't it?
Glenn Little.
Yeah.
Brilliant podcast. Absolutely brilliant. And he was on about when he was at Reading with Steve Coppell.
Yep.
Right? And this is how false managers are. This is how false. They're all so nice to each other. I mean, I would say to Jack, I don't like your philosophy. Loved him. Loved him. I hated his philosophy.
Yep.
And I couldn't stop laughing at it. I could not stop laughing. It's so funny. It's the best podcast I've ever seen in my life. For fun.
Yep.
And he said, Steve Coppell once, he said we were playing Watford. Adrian Boothroyd is manager of Watford. He said, whatever we do, we don't get beat to these. We're going to play like they do. We'll just get the ball and boot it, because I hate this type of football. But that's what we're going to do, because we're not going to let them get one over us, right? Because that's parasite football. That's the exact words he used on the television.
Yeah.
Right, it's a brilliant podcast. But when that come up, I was laughing at it all the time, because the funny things about it, when players really open up and start expressing themselves, what had happened in the game, it was funny, brilliant. And I laughed at it because I can relate to some of the stories what we do.
Yeah.
And A.D. Boothroyd, and he said, Stevie Coppell said it was parasite football. You never hear Stevie Coppell slag it off on TV, do you?
No.
But he's
you
saying
don't see Stevie Coppell on TV these days. No. He's vanished.
But what I'm trying to say, when he were doing it, because that's what he's on about. When he was managing, what Glenn Little was on about is, and they weren't having a go. They were laughing, lads, because they were saying, because they don't like playing that way. They don't like playing that way. Majority of them do not like playing that way. And he said, all they did was just play the long ball game. Watch it.
Yeah.
It's Browne and the lad back from Barnes what play football. It's their podcast, you know. And honestly, worth a watch. You'll piss yourself laughing at it. It's brilliant. It's a 2-part series. It's that good. It's a 2-part series.
But isn't it amazing with players, former players and former managers, like Steve Coppell, for instance, you don't hear a murmur from him now. He's almost vanished without trace in the world of football. It's crazy, isn't it?
I don't think he would ever welcome the limelight, did he?
No, I don't think he did, to be fair.
Big Ron would do. I would do when I was on a pitch. I always try to get away from it when I was off it.
Yeah.
Cloughie welcomed it. He loved it. The big characters seem to do.
Yeah.
But what he was saying about Boothroyd, and Coppell said it's parasite football. I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
And then I said to my two lads, I said, where do you think A.D. Boothroyd is now?
Exactly, yeah.
Managing the England under-21s. The same A.D. Boothroyd what put Fodden on the bench.
Yeah.
Right? How could you say Fodden should not get in the under-21s team, under-23s team?
I mean, I've seen Addy Boothroyd and watched his tactics, watched his substitutions, watched his management of the under-21s, and I'll be absolutely truthful with you, TC. I'd have sacked him years ago. I think he's absolutely shite, and that is my opinion.
When he gets sacked from one job, and again, it could be a lovely kid. I'm not talking as a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm talking about him his tactical football.
Yep.
Right? His philosophy on the game.
Yep.
Right? His philosophy on the game. He'll get the sack. I mean, he got the sack at Watford. Did well. He got a promotion, and he was going to be the next England manager. He used to laugh at me. I used to laugh at me.
Yeah.
He was going to be the next England manager. Finished up at Northampton. Then he gets the job with England.
I know, it's incredible.
With England. Why does he get a job with England?
Well, this is the thing.
Correct.
Exactly.
He will turn around and say, this. Like Southgate's just done with Kyle Walker.
Correct.
Let's see if they've done it. Let's see if he'll do it with an Harry Kane. Or a Raheem Sterling.
Yep.
I wonder what they'll do then.
I'm guessing they would bottle it, they'd make excuses, because as you've alluded to earlier, weak management, poor management, and if it was me and I was the head of the FA, I'd get rid of all of them lot. I'd say to Pep, write your own cheque, come and run the English national team.
And let me tell you something. And when I said that to you about Sterling, I will get some of them, the political Mr. Perfect, Peter Perfect men, come on and turn around and say, well, he did that with Sterling. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. They'd already qualified England.
Yep.
Right? And I know what he'll have done. He'll have pulled him behind. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. We're going to show them that we're disciplining. Yeah. Listen, Jack fined me £100. I said, I'm not paying it.
Yeah.
And I was adamant because I got booked for an absolutely horrendous tackle, Gabbie. Swear to you. Yeah. And I did swear to the referee. And you shouldn't do. But I said to her, I'm not paying it, Jack. I'll tell you that now. You pay that and you put me on transfer list. Right? And he got £100 out of the safe, the club's money, gave it me to give him back, and then said, oh, you paid it now. Because at the end of the day, we all know when we've done something wrong.
Yep.
Right? But I know what they'll have done with Sterling. This is what we're going to do. We're going to boom, and cover it all up. And say, look, we've disciplined him. Yep. Load of rubbish. I mean, Walker, he's not going to have Walker in his squad. End of. And that's, look at me playing Mr. Big.
Absolutely too. So, random question of this podcast. It's first day of Passover today. Are you a religious person? And if you were, what religion would you be?
Well, I'm a Catholic.
Oh, okay.
My dad was. Yeah, my dad's a Catholic.
Yeah.
My mum was a Protestant.
Yeah.
So we never went to church. My eldest brother's always gone to church.
Yeah.
My eldest brother. I just believe in one life and getting on everyone.
Yeah.
If Sheffield Wednesday get beat tomorrow by a better team, I'll thank. If they're not good enough, I'll moan to myself. I don't moan and groan. But where religion concerned, I'll help anybody. Help anybody. Whatever. I mean, I put things on. Listen, if Donald Trump has done something wrong, sack him, get rid of him, vote him out, boom, right? Whoever it is, because they should be there for the people.
Yeah,
Gabbie, we vote them in to get the national health right, to get our roads right, to get help for the hospital, help for people what's got no money. I mean, for all that, mate. I don't mind paying that little bit extra for that. I really don't. Right, so I'm not a religious man, but I'm not against anybody going to church because, listen, a lot of those people who go to church are more, I'm not saying evil, but bad, worse than what the ones that don't go to church.
Yeah.
They're saying things what you shouldn't be doing, and then they go and do totally opposite. Yeah. I mean, the Scottish MP telling everybody not to do this, and I don't want to sack him, by the way, because she got the sack, right? But she's saying we should stay in, and then she's going to a country house, cottage in up in Fife somewhere, you know. So half of them are hypocrites, you know, and they're telling us what to do, and they do totally opposite, and they must laugh at us. So I'm not against any religion. If you believe in it, there's no harm in it, but don't prey on other people to follow it, you know. So at the end of the day is I'm a people's man. I am a people's man. We're all not going to get on. We all know that. We're all not going to get on. But I don't dislike people, Gabbie. I really don't.
Yeah, spot on. Great answer, TC. Which now leads us on to 5 great players, central defenders, British defenders of the 80s. What 5 have you picked for us this week?
The 5 great defenders.
Central defenders, not fullbacks. Central defenders of the 80s.
Right, in the 80s. So, and they are British, aren't they?
Yes, I've gone all British. Again, if you want to put in 1 or 2 foreign defenders, then that's fine.
No, the British. Alan Hudson, 1.
Yeah.
Kevin Beattie, 2. Alan Hansen, Kevin Beattie, Phil Thompson, 3. What they call him, the butcher's partner at Ipswich.
Osman.
That's 4. You know, I mean, I know what Terry Butcher were like, but I tell you what, I give him a lot of chasing when I played against him because he's just a big lad. You know, the balance of me going past him. Always, if you throw the ball up into there to Terry Butcher, he's going to win it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
You know, so the 5th one, I'm going to go with. When I say this, is on edge of playing in this late 70s to the early 80s. Well, I'm going to do him for Mike Levinson. He should have been an English player, but we allowed him to go and play for Ireland. No, he's the other one.
Because he was born in England, wasn't he? You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a Preston lad.
Yeah.
He's a Preston lad. Played with Brighton.
Mm.
So he's the other one. Because I'm looking for that type of player what can come out and play with the ball. But all 5 of them, you know, could read the game.
Yeah.
All 5 could read the game.
How good was Russell Osman?
Great player, absolutely good. It's like anything else. I played against 2 kids. Didn't play many games against them, maybe 4 or 5 times because I went and played in the old 3rd division with Sheffield Wednesday. When I played against them at Forest, Southampton, and Everton, or Sansom and Sansom with Arsenal then. Sansom and David Statham. And I'm telling you, Gabbie, 2 absolutely. It's a shame what's happened to Sansom.
Yes, absolutely.
At the FA, I've done nothing about it. I know sometimes it is your fault as human beings, but when you get into an addiction like he's got, and majority that'll be money problems, and that's why because he was more of a gambler than a drinker.
Yes.
And he got into drinking because of, you know, when people drink, it's because of worries, or no else, you know. And there were 2 absolutely world great players for England. Statham couldn't get in because of Sansom, and it doesn't mean that one were better than the other. And I'm not saying that Sansom were better than Statham, because they were both great players. Didn't kick, tried to play the game, but Statham didn't get the games because of the manager picking. And Ray Clemens was another one.
Yes.
Whether you think Shilton was the best of the 2, I was more for Clemens than Shilton. I thought Shilton was a great goalkeeper, but I was more Clemens. As goalkeepers go, you know, and it's down to the manager when the players are that good, who he thinks is the best. And sometimes one misses out, and he's missed out because of its not favouritism. It's just his opinion. He's the best, and that's what that's about.
If we just
Osman was a great player. Great player was Osman.
If we take the Sanson and Statham debate to one side for a couple of minutes, if Derek Statham was playing today, he would be an absolute shoo-in and get 100 England caps, wouldn't he? He was that good.
Yeah. Well, if he was playing today, he won't be at West Brom.
Yeah.
But Liverpool would. Liverpool.
But let's quantify this. Back in them days with Big Ron and Statham playing at West Bromwich Albion, they were a Champions League side.
They weren't far off it.
Yeah.
They weren't, Champions League side, yes, without a doubt. But they weren't far off being being a Champions League winner.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to say about Statham failed a medical at Liverpool, I think.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong. You'll research this ready for next week.
I'll ask him because he's a Facebook friend, and I'll ask him.
Will you give him my regards?
He don't answer me, but he's a Facebook friend. Lots of ex-players don't. You do, and Uddy does.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Try this.
Yeah.
Send him. It's a Terry Curran sends his regards. See if you get all back from him.
Yeah, I'll link you into it.
Right. But I am sure he failed a medical at Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did. But Statham would play in a Manchester City side or a Liverpool side, like Robinson was bought from Hull, right? Hull got it from Scotland.
Yeah, the left back.
Now
yeah.
Statham is a natural tacky full back.
Yeah.
And he, with the continental managers, he'd have been bought. Now, like you said, West Brom were a Champions League team if the four teams went to the Champions. So you're right, 100% right about that. And Ron wouldn't tell anyone because of he got a good team together.
Yeah.
Now, he did sell Brian Robson.
Yeah.
Right? I'm saying he sold Brian Robson. I'm not sure. You might, because I don't remember everything, but I remember lots of things. He was sold to Manchester United when West Brom wouldn't sell players.
Yeah.
They wanted, because they got a good team, like you said. If they'd have been fourth places in the Champions League, they would have been in those four season in, season out for a good 8-10 years.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, he might have sold Robson to Manchester. Might have bought Robson from Man United. I'm not quite sure, but he wouldn't sell. He would not sell his best player. I think he sold Lottie Cunningham to Real Madrid, but I think Cunningham wanted to go. If I'm right, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But down those lines, I'm not far wrong when I say things about past football. But Statham would have got in anybody's team, and if Sanson wouldn't have been playing then, he would have had 100 caps. And who's to say if Clough or whoever were a different manager, they might have picked it before Sanson. You just don't know.
Yeah. Again, it's all opinions, and you're right. That again, let's look at things as a football situation. There are very few players that actually turn down Manchester United and turn down Real Madrid as well. These are two of the greatest teams ever in the history of world football, aren't they?
Yes, without doubt.
And that fundamentally does put a different slant on things. Would Albion have sold Robbo to Manchester City? I'm guessing. I mean, back in them days, Man City weren't what they are today.
No.
I don't think they would. I don't think Robbo would have wanted to go to any other team apart from United, because at Albion they were such a fantastic side.
They were challenging it season in, season out. What I'm trying to say is, Ron might have bought him. I think he brought the.
Yeah, I think you might be right, to be truthful.
Because Ron wouldn't sell him.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
When he was there. But I know he went to Man United, and either Ron stopped. Well, to be honest, Ron might have stopped him going there a couple of times.
Yeah, and then bought him when he was at United.
And then bought him when he was at United.
You could be right there, too.
That's what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah.
That Ron Atkinson had no need to sell, and players.
Yeah.
Players didn't want to go because they wanted to play for Ron. They loved to play how his football. They loved his management personality. And he's not going to agree. Everybody won't have liked him. He knows that.
Yeah.
But in general, majority did.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say here is, he didn't sell players, and if he did sell Brian Robson, then he went to Man United because he must have known he were going to Man United. But I think I am wrong. I think Ron did buy him.
Yeah. Looking at it and thinking about it, I think you're absolutely right. I think Ron did sign Robbo for United and wouldn't sell him previously when he was the manager of West Bromwich Albion. My 5 of the best central defenders of the 1980s that were British are Terry Butcher. Yep. I thought Butch was a great leader and a great captain, and we can't forget that.
No,
game England, when he had the bandage, blood, and it was
blood coming from it.
So if you're a player and you want a leader and a skipper and that captain and that never say die attitude, Butch was as good as you got. And my next one is also of that same ilk, and that was Tony Adams of Arsenal.
Yeah.
I thought Tony was again a great inspiration, a great leader, and a great old-fashioned centre-half. But my top 3 are defenders that were different to being an old-fashioned centre-half. They were 3 of the greatest British defenders, not just of the 80s, but in my opinion, of all time. And they're Paul McGrath, Mark Lawrenson,
all about him.
and Alan Hansen. And I think all 3 could play in any era, at any club, because they were just 3 of the greatest central defenders that I've ever seen in my life.
Well, what a play he was anyway, but what a player if he wouldn't have had the injuries. Yeah. I cannot believe that I forgot all about Paul McGrath. It's unreal, because with the injuries he had, United weren't winning that much, were they? He was in and out of the team because of injuries.
Yeah.
And yes, he went to Aston Villa, but he never trained at Aston Villa, did he?
No, never, no.
And Villa did quite well, don't get me wrong, but what I'm trying to say, you're right, what a player he was.
Mm-hmm.
What a player he was.
And
Unbelievable.
and Hansen.
Oh.
Just, I mean, as a defender, he was probably the first where watch Match of the Day and see a defender pull the ball down and play it and bring the ball out. He was almost a pioneering British defender, whereas they'd be doing it on the continent, but there weren't many defenders in this country that were doing what Alan Hansen was doing. And if they were not as good as him, Toddy, to be fair.
Colin Todd was. And
Yeah, to be fair. McFarland as well, yeah.
Yeah, but they were in the early 70s. You said to me 80s.
Yeah.
In my team. And Norman Hunter was. Don't get me wrong. Listen, all this thing about Norman Hunter, I'll tell you what worse than Norman Hunter for bite your legs.
Chopper Harris.
Chopper Harris. Tommy Smith.
Yeah.
Them type of players. Jack Charlton.
Yeah.
They were the ones what were brutal then. Norman Hunter would go for a 50-50 fair and square. I'm not saying Norman wouldn't kick you, but he was a footballer with Norman Hunter. He was better than what people give him credit for. He wasn't just bite legs Norman Hunter.
Yeah. He was actually the first PFA Footballer of the Year in 1974. Norman Hunter was.
What does that tell you?
It tells me that he was a football player.
He's a world-class player, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Because you know when players pick you like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Says it all. Behind the Lens TC is another feature that we do on our podcast. And it was that team photo that you posted up on your 1980 World Football page today on Facebook.
Yeah.
What was that about?
It's not me. I think somebody else has put that on.
Oh, okay. It got your name there. It got your post, and I thought it was you. It's certainly you on the bottom right-hand side as you're looking at the photograph. Mick Lyons was on there as well. What was the situation?
Yes, it was me. Yes, that was me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, that team photo thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
What's the story behind that?
There was a photograph of just me, weren't there? Somebody's put one of me on that timeline.
Was that the Forest one that somebody had put in?
No. That was Andy
Haslam. Yeah, he put that on.
Yeah. That one is. I didn't know what it was all about, and I phoned a guy up who was on that, Colin Walker, who works at Grimsby. I said, "Col, what was this picture in aid of?" And he told me, he said, "Terry, it's to do with," well, he called me TC, just called it a TC. He says, it were all players what played at Sheffield Wednesday, right? The guy has got a book. He's wrote the book.
Right.
And everybody's got a mention in that book. And I cannot remember the photograph. So I asked Colin, what was it about?
What year was it? Can you remember what year it was, TC? Because you looked as though
I'd finished playing.
You did, yeah. It looked about the same time as you had the picture with Martin O'Neill. That kind of.
No. It was when I stopped playing.
Oh, okay.
I weren't playing then.
Yeah.
I think that must have been into 90s or just after. Being 90s. I'll tell you what. I'll find out for you next week.
Yeah.
So I'll ask Colin when it was, because Colin Walker will know exactly.
And
he's an anorak on football. It's Colin.
And the book, I'm guessing it's come out.
Well, obviously, I have not seen it.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
That photograph. I'm trying to think of when did I give an interview? Because we've all give interviews in it. That's what.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
We've all done interviews in the book because he's done about all the players what's either played from a certain period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that's what it is. It's a Sheffield. I just shot Sheffield Wednesday's history and players, and those players there have all spoken to the author.
Yeah.
And give him, the intake of, what it was like, I would imagine, and what have you. So that's what it is.
Have you been doing any TikTok foot dancing, TC, while you've been in lockdown?
Gabbie, I can't do it anymore. I couldn't keep 4 passes up now. Yeah. I've got a knee what definitely needs doing. Right. And Tom will tell you when I walk upstairs, I have to get up on my hands and knees because I can't really bend my leg, and my right ankle is pinned.
Yeah.
Pinned and fused. I had the ball. I needed a new ankle.
Yeah.
Because my foot was turning under, right? And when I went to see the specialist, he said, look, I think they last about 6 years, the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I could be wrong because Ian Mellor had one, and he phoned me up and asked me about it, and he's glad he's had his done. So my ankle, I can't bend it.
Yeah.
So it's just a straight. So I couldn't balance myself, and I walk with a limp. So I listen. You think I would have been doing them?
Yeah.
I'd have done them with my eyes closed. I'd have been throwing tricks in, but I haven't got my knee. Both my knees have gone. They definitely need doing. And the only reason why I don't go in and I can get them done, and the only reason why I don't go, because I've never had any luck, Gabbie. Some of my mates what's had them done said it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And you've had one or two what's had him done and said they wish to have had it done.
Yeah.
And knowing my luck, whenever I can, when I say walk, as long as what I don't want to do is finish up in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I could finish up having an operation and it not working. And I'm not frightened, don't get me wrong. It's just I think to myself, whenever I can keep walking, and I do get pain, not pain, it's like an ache. It's like an ache.
Yeah.
So, do you think I would have been doing that?
Well, I was going
the toilet. Listen, I would have loved it because I'd have had them all talking. But listen, I'll admit it, I can't do it anymore. I just can't. Got my legs.
Yeah.
I've had my ankle, my left leg pinned and fused. My left knee's gone. I need operation on that. My right one's worse than my left. Right. So I can't bend it to when I say bend it, I can't bend it where I need to move, and I can't move about, a balance with to get it in and around the ball itself.
Yeah.
Because my left leg is just straight.
So there's going to be no TikTok dancing, and there's going to be no toilet roll challenge. How's your hair growing? And has Tom got the bowl round it and cut it yet?
Well, his mum has cut Jock's and his.
Yeah. And
Janet cut mine the other day. I had to go and get it cut because it was getting longer and longer. It started to drive me around the twist. So I said, I've never cut hair. She says, no. I said, you're going to do it. She said, I don't want to make a mess of it. I said, if you make a mess of it, it's only for 2 weeks. It'll be back to normal in 2 weeks. So, but she made a good job of it. So that's how I've had it cut.
Superb.
But it does, I have it longish, not long, but I have it longish. And when it gets, well, I'm 65 now, so when it gets too long, it starts to get itchy, and I wash it every day.
Yeah.
But it feels uncomfortable when it's too long now.
Well, having no hair and shaving it every couple of days, I'm absolutely fine, so I don't need a hairdresser. We're now into extra time and time added on for stoppages, TC, because we're over an hour. All football's been suspended, so we can't find any football leagues anywhere in the world. The last one to stop was it Lithuania, where they where the president just keep drinking vodka.
We were laughing at one other day on television, me, Tom and Jock, with the defender were not ball busting him, and he was slower than me, Gabbie, and we couldn't stop laughing, so it's all come to a stop now, hasn't it?
Yeah, sad.
I think there's a little bit of light showing at the end of the tunnel now.
Yep, hopefully it will be back soon, probably 3 or 4 weeks away.
Yeah.
But who knows? Could be sooner. Doubt it. Could be slightly later. Possibly. It is 13:11, and we do take it in turns to play the play-out track. It was yours last week. I'm this week going to play Darling by the Womack Sisters, who are
brilliant.
Womack,
I saw you advertise,
Womack and
Womack.
Their kids and granddaughters of the great and late Sam Cooke. So great history there, great pedigree, and also Binky Womack and Gina Womack and Mary Wells was related by marriage into that family. So when we're looking at dynasties of families of music, the Womacks are up there as possibly the greatest of all time.
They're well bred, aren't they?
Oh, unbelievable, and there's loads of them. So we're going to go out with Darling by the Womack Sisters. TC, thank you once again for your time. Love to you and yours. Thanks everybody for listening, and we will be reconvening this time next week for another dose of the Curran View. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. Have a great weekend, you and your missus. Sun's going to be out, by the looks of it, so get in your gardens, have a little bit of a meal in your garden. Obviously inviting all your friends, but try and enjoy yourself as much as you can, and we'll see you all next week.
Hey, ta-ra a bit.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, buddy. Ta-ra a bit. Bye-bye.